right, welcome everybody to another episode of Chris and Dave's Reality Cast. I'm one of your hosts, Chris Phelps. My co-host and very good friend is Mr. Dave Horrocks.
Hey there, Big Nose. I'm delighted to be on here, and we're joining you for the recap of the penultimate episode.
Kathy, that wasn't me. Fucking send an email in about Dave. Go on, Dave.
I couldn't resist.
I fucking know you couldn't.
I've been waiting the last 24 hours to fucking get that one in. I like to just throw you off the game every now and then. I mean, we've got to start off with the dates, haven't we, today? I mean, we had Carrington and Lauren with the first date. I mean, what did you make to that one?
I've got to say, car, amazing. Driving gloves, no chance. Fucking Alan Partridge driving gloves, which will mean nothing probably to our US listeners. But Dave, them gloves, what was he doing? He thinks he's fucking Burt Reynolds. And you know I love a bit of Burt Reynolds, Dave, but they went out in the 70s, them leather driving gloves.
You know, I just thought it's so him. And he's like, this is the best date ever. The problem is the date was with him in the car. It was nothing to do with the actual woman that happened to be there. He was just so wrapped up in the car. And let's face it, you know, it'd be cracking out having a nice Ferrari jetting down the Grand Canyon and stuff there. Absolutely brilliant. But I couldn't help but just think it didn't really matter that Lauren was there.
Yes. Yeah, I'm with you. He will lick himself all day long, that lad, won't he? So it was a lovely day. The setting was amazing. You've got to say, all 4 dates, Dave, the settings were brilliant. They really did the business here. And maybe because Vegas was so quiet, obviously, I probably wasn't ever going to be in Vegas. It was probably going to be in Fiji again or whatever, you know. So I get that. But I thought the settings were brilliant. But I still don't buy Laurel and Carrington at all, Dave. I really don't.
I buy her. I think she's genuine.
Lovely. I think she's lovely. Yeah, I do. Yeah.
But you know, again, you know, he's saying that he's trying to be all romantic and stuff. I didn't really like the way he's kind of like, yeah, I'm glad I made the decision. Well, actually, let's not forget, Laurel had a bit of a decision to make as well. She was feeling it with Calvin a little bit, you know, before he had his whole debate around whether he goes with Lakin or not. So I just don't really buy him. I don't like the fact that, you know, again, he's going on before he goes for the date. He's like, oh, yeah, this is my 7th date. You know, I'm the fucking man. And he walks back in with the shades of fucking driving gloves. And I know our American listeners won't know Alan Partridge, like you say, unless there's very few people who do outside the UK, I think. But think The Office. Think that level of cringe. I was just looking at him there. He just wants to everyone look at me, you know, with my fucking driving gloves. And I just thought, yeah, you're a bit of a bellend, aren't you?
Yeah, and I don't think, and I don't think, no, Dave. Out of the 4 dates, it was just a non-event between them two. I didn't take to anything Carrington was selling again. It just seemed all one-sided. You're so right, and even. As we, you know, even the other dates, Dave, I believe Moira and Calvin have got something there.
Yeah.
Carrington and Laurel haven't. Laurel is all in. She's a lovely girl. I think Carrington, just like you said the other day, he's just on a fucking beano, innit? He needs to visit Las Vegas a few more times and just go on holiday with his mates if he can, obviously the way the world is. But he's not interested, Dave. They are not going to be. I'd be fucking amazed if we see anything out of these. And I know I say it over most of the couples I'm probably going to say today, but I actually think, hand on heart, God's honest truth, I think that Calvin and Moira are going to make it more than Justin Caleb as well. They're the only 2 couples, and I didn't think I'd say that, Dave. I'm not buying any of the other stuff.
I think it's much more fun when we don't agree. But yeah, I think I said it yesterday. The last week, say, you know, with all Freckles and Moira, I don't think they've done a lot wrong. And I think tonight I think that might have been their best episode tonight. You know, and I was kind of believing it. I'm still burdened with a little bit of a bias from what I saw before. Certainly before, you know, in and around Casa Amor. But couldn't really fault them, you know, being a bit goofy with each other. And I don't know, it's starting to feel, Chris, like it's genuine. And I've said for a little while now, my predictions are that Caleb and Justine first, Johnny and Sally will come second, Carrington and Laurel will come third, and then you're left with Moira and Calvin. I'm going to change those last two around. From what I've seen in this last week, I think I'm more convinced now by Moira and Calvin, as you said.
Yeah, yeah, and honestly, we do not talk about what we're going to say prior to the show. Hence the big nose comment, which completely took me off kilter. But I honestly just watching it tonight, I love the fact that when Sally was talking to Johnny and she drops it in, then goes, "Well, we're gonna have kids and everything." He went, "Whoa, steady, whoa, hang on, just can't, just slow down, slow down." He was like half joking, Dave, but honestly. I've really, really gone off him. And I hate saying that because I thought they were absolute surefire winners. Justine and Caleb had both said they love each other tonight, and it was lovely. And I was convinced by the backdrop of the Grand Canyon, by the whole thing. I bought into that completely.
You know there was one thing that Johnny said. We've called him out for being that proper game player. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. It is a game at the end of the day. We love the drama, but we like to believe that people are in there for the right reasons to find someone. So, but at its core, it's a game show, isn't it? There's 100
Yes.
grand up for grabs. That is, not necessarily massive life changing stuff, but it can get you a bit of a house, get you on the ladder and what have you, on the property ladder. So, this is a lot to play for. But when Justine and Caleb were out on their date, Johnny was like, he's gonna say it when he's out there. And it felt to me like he's like, "Oh, you fucker, that's just what I'd have done." Did you not see? Did you not notice that?
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
exactly how it came across. It's like, "Oh, well played, sir. Well played."
yeah. Yeah, and it's funny, Dave. That will play into one of the emails we received, haven't we, a
Yeah.
bit later on? But yeah, with Johnny. But honestly, it's a really interesting. We love this show, and it's a great experiment. How you can just flip on your head watching it a bit more with different people. I have slated Moira and Calvin Freckles. I have absolutely gone to town. We've had emails about us saying, "Oh, I don't agree with you there, guys," and that. But the more they're together, there's something there. I wasn't expecting one of them to say they love each other, which they didn't. They're not at that stage. I think they're genuine, Dave. Usually I'm like, nope, it's a load of bullshit. Are they going to be together? They've got a chance. I really do. If we're taking it at face value, what they're saying, they've got a chance. I genuinely think, and I agree, they would be my number two now, couple.
Ooh, even displacing Sally and Johnny.
Yeah, because I just think I just don't believe the Johnny and Sally thing at all.
Yeah.
No, I really don't. Poor Sally's going to be in an absolute free fall, Dave. If she's expecting kids and that from Johnny, she's got no chance. The only way she's going to get kids is if it comes out he's got about 5 or 6 stashed away somewhere else.
Fucking hell. I don't get that though, because Sally clearly had no. We saw it yesterday. She's got no maternal instinct whatsoever. So I don't know. It seems slightly disingenuous to me that start talking
Mm.
about kids when clearly you're not ready, and that's fine. Early 20s, I wasn't ready either. So it's absolutely fine. Go and live a bit of life, have a lot of fun, because once you have kids, you're gonna wish that you had
But,
done. Um,
Dave, but let me just say one thing, and I'm sorry, I am talking about my family again, Dave. But I have a 19-year-old daughter, and she's soon to be 20. And I tell you now, Dave, I'm only 41, and it's fucking great because I had her when I was young, and it's the best thing ever because I've still got loads of my life to live.
yeah, all right, big nose.
I'm going to see her in Vegas next year, Dave, for her 21st. But anyway, carry on. I'll say no more.
Still got a few more years, yeah. Damn it, damn it.
You'll be able to make it, Dave.
I know. You just have to,
You can get one of them Zimmer things, couldn't you? You drive loads of them in Vegas.
I'll get one of those little motorized cart things
That's what
by
I
the
mean. You'll
time
get
I'm
one of them.
free. But I mean, what do you reckon to like Johnny and Sally's date in general?
I actually thought all four of them were good dates. They spent a lot
Mm,
of money, but out of all of them, that seemed to be the one where the least bit of money went on it. As much as I thought it was quite spectacular with the dancers and that, and it was lovely seeing that sort of the movement and all that thing. That seemed, oh, to me anyway, that it seemed the cheapest one because of it. And I know Moira and Calvin. I think that was in the gardens in the Bellagio. I think it was Bellagio behind Dave there, but it just seemed that that auditorium's not being used anyway. And they get I mean, the dancers were great. I get it. I would have loved to seen Johnny go for it properly. He was taking a mick one. I know they got up, but it was quite funny that.
it felt to me like I was looking in a mirror. When I was watching the dancers. The guy when he gets his shirt off, like one of those funny mirrors at the circus, like that distort all your body. No,
I,
he was ripped, wasn't he? I think Johnny was quite happy to keep his shirt on.
I tell you what, though, Dave, I've never heard um, that before. They're called what they called Justine and Sally. What they called?
Justine and Telly.
No, the group together. They're called. Is it Celine or whatever they're called? They were saying about it in the diary room, weren't they? This is what we're called. I fell in love with her. She's like my third person I fell in love with, and all this.
Oh right. Oh, nah, I didn't pick up on
Is it
that.
Celine or something like that? Because I was thinking about me and you, Dave, and I think we should call each other Cave.
You've been thinking all day about that.
Yeah, it took me a while. Well, I'm thinking Dave, Chris. So
Driss.
we can't have Driss. Or well, my full name's Christian, so we can't have Dristian. We could have Cavid. Well, I think Cave might be better.
Cavid. Yeah. That's a fucking great one
Well,
in
COVID.
2020, isn't it? Cavid-19.
It just come to me while I was watching it. I was thinking, what name could we have?
Oh God. Hey, I need to remind you. You said you were going to tweet out our rather terrible thrown away logo. We'll have
Oh
to do
gosh,
that at some
right, I'll
point
do
today.
that. Yes, I will do that. That is, we'll put it to the public vote actually, Dave, because I want everyone to say yes. Because I don't look bad on it, but Dave looks nothing like him.
I don't look good at the best of times, but I think I fucking even look better than that. But honestly, right. So yeah, no, I agree. I think all the dates were good. It did feel, and again we'll come on to this a bit later because we've seen these dates so many times. It did feel a little bit replayed. Obviously, we've not seen it in Vegas before, but the format is all very similar, isn't it? I did like
Yes.
how Calvin and Moira were sort of playing with everyone, saying about how they've been in this $30,000 suite. It's like a Celine Dion, Elton John type thing. I think Calvin was saying, and winding them up a bit.
Yeah. I didn't realize you were going to stop talking then,
No,
Dave.
sorry. Yeah. No. So I just thought it was funny. Again, it just for me, it's just them being a bit goofy together. Got to say as well, I think out of all the couples, I thought Calvin and Moira in particular scrubbed up really well.
Yes, really good, Dave. Honestly, I don't know what's happened to me, Dave, but I think either our listeners may have opened our eyes to a few people. You know what I mean?
Could be,
I
could be.
I genuinely think that. I think Calvin, I may have just been blinded because of some of the stuff that's gone on and not believing he's been genuine. But as it's gone on, I think there is something there. I really do. And just out of interest, Dave, just slightly touching on the Schnozio subject. This will be the last time. My fucking wife agreed with Kathy, actually, Dave. After I said it, she went, "Well, yeah, you had said it a few times." I was like, "Don't you be agreeing with her? Don't you be agreeing with her?" So, Sam, when you listen to this, I'm not happy, right? But David, we have had some great social media comments, emails, interactions, haven't we? So where do you
Oh,
want
it's
to start
brilliant.
first?
I want to start with this one from Kathy.
Chris is just seeing you
Does,
next
does
Tuesday. Get
Chris
rid of him,
ever
Dave.
stop bang? Oh no, wait. We did that one yesterday. So I'm going to go over to Twitter. So we got one from Haley, and it says, "Ignore Lucky Lulu Green's request. She's been trying to get me to watch Real Housewives for years, and I won't. But she knows I'll watch anything you review." So sounds like we've got a bit of a partnership. It's like me and you, Chris. You keep trying to get me to watch that shit, and I'm not having it. So, and also, Chris, we did have a review. Actually, as I've been talking, I think another one's come through. So, first one, subject: love these blokes, and this is from DD Temp. Says, so glad I found Chris and Dave. I needed someone to share Love Island with me, and have these, and these two have the best takes. They do it all with humour and a British wit, and I can't wait to tune in after each Love Island episode. Thanks, guys. So, thanks very much for that.
Oh, yeah.
And the next one is from, I hope I'm going to say this right, Casey Money. And it says, love from New Orleans. Hey, Chris, I think this is the first one from New Orleans. Not had one before, have we?
Oh, nice.
It says, I love this show so much. Please don't hesitate to give us longer episodes because I'm always sad when they come to an end. I I did that yesterday. I always will definitely be tuning in if you all decide to come cover the Bachelorette season. So that's fantastic, isn't it? And I guess we kind of deliberately keep them a little bit short, don't we, Chris? I think our first ever podcast together, or our first joint project together, was about 3 hours. It was just
Yes.
it's just an absolute killer, and but then we only had one podcast a week back then, so all the editing and stuff like that. But yeah, no. So we'll see how the Bachelorette goes. I think we'll try and keep them, 20 to 30 minutes typically, aren't they?
Yeah, yeah. And I think it's one of them, Dave. I'm sure we think it's a sweet, but I love doing it, and I think it's nice, and it's really nice comments again. And we've had 3 emails again, Dave. One of them's from our good friend Yaron in Israel, who I think he emailed us last season.
I think Yaron might have been, because I saw it come up and I was like, oh, I'm sure Yaron might have even been one of the first people who emailed us. So he's been
Yes.
there right from that UK first season that we covered.
Yeah, so one of the OGs, Dave, so we can't complain there. So thank you, Aaron. And it simply says, hi, guys. Just before watching the Babies episode, and as someone that's watched alongside your podcast all of the Love Island seasons, so you're right, Dave, I too feel that when the babies come, I'm out. Interest level at this point is minus 9,000. Hope they'll tweak a bit the last few days of the format so it'll be a bit more interesting. Thanks, guys, for making this fun podcast. Cheers from Israel. So thanks, Sharon, again, and thanks for sticking with us, my friend, as well.
That's
Now,
amazing,
Dave,
that is.
we've got one, Dave, from Nashville, Tennessee. Oh,
Nice.
tremendous. Hi, guys. Just listening to you guys recently, and I finally caught up. I have to admit, I was a little skeptical since it was 2 men, as a lot of male driven podcasts can sometimes be a little misogynistic. For lack of a less dramatic word, what a pleasant surprise you two are. I have to say, I agree with about 99% of what you say, with the exception of Ariel being pointless. I love her. She's hilarious, and I wish the show would let her. I would wish to have her own show more. Dave, she's going to be your co-presenter soon, so you're in agreement here.
Yeah,
I know that.
I'm with her. I said she was great, but then when I realised it was all part of the master plan for you to do your audition, throw Ariel under the bus again. All for it. Get yourself over there and get her over here.
But Dave, this next section is never more important than what's just happened in the last 24 hours in the US. So it says, you guys seem like a genuine nice couple of dudes and your laughter is infectious. Even the intro, that was always exactly the same down to the word, makes me smile. And genuinely, Dave, we always say, maybe we should just record that and do it, but we don't, do we? We do the same thing every year. That and the frequent misuse of the name Mackenzie for literally any person you
That's
might be
me.
talking about.
That's me.
That's Dave, by
Guilty.
the way, yeah. Just makes the show more enjoyable. Chris, as an American, I speak for all of us when I say we would gladly accept your self-nomination for president. It seems we have absolutely nothing to lose at this point. Chris and Dave, 2020. Yeah, Dave, you could be my right hand man, couldn't you? You could be like you'd actually be the whole brains and everything, the operation. I'd just be the buffoon at the front of the show. Anyway, let's carry on, Dave. They've only got one of them. But anyway, as for the show, I'm all in on Justine and Caleb, even though it breaks my heart for Sally that Johnny had to ruin it for her. Despite whatever flaws she may have, she's such a ray of sunshine and definitely deserves better. Dave, your comment about them overusing 100% reminded me how much it made me crazy in US season 1 of Love Island. if it wasn't so boring, I'd say you should watch it back and pay attention to how much they use that phrase literally non-stop.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm so glad I found your podcast. It's sad it'll be over for a bit, but I can't wait to hear your take on the next season of The Bachelorette. Thanks for brightening my days, Laura from Nashville, Tennessee, Dave. That is class.
Awesome stuff.
Absolute class. And the last one is from Sue in Virginia, Dave. We've got a proper spread over there. Oh, some great places. Hey, Chris and Dave, I just had to send this link to an interview with Trey, one of the contestants that was on the first episode of Love Island Season 2. Reality Steve is famous for his spoilers in interviews with the contestants of The Bachelor and Bachelorette, but also recaps other shows. He's following Love Island and nabbed this review. Trey reveals what it was like to be on the show and who on the show is totally acting for the cameras. Trey shares that he told Johnny he's a great actor and deserves an Oscar for his performances on the show. This is what we were talking about before.
Yeah.
Johnny never fooled Trey, and he said Johnny wants to win and knows he just has to keep Sally happy to get to the end. They will not work as a couple on the outside, and Johnny knew Sally was loyal to him, and that is why he knew he could get away with what he did in Casa Amor. He knew she would take him back. Trey doesn't know what happens in the end, but many of the guys would joke about taking all the money at the end, and he's not sure if Johnny had the balls to do it. Now, let me just stop there before I read any more. As much as I want that to happen, Dave, I think we're going to have to fucking go after Johnny if he does that to poor Sally.
Me. Surely
I laugh
not.
about that. Oh, my God.
No, he can't do that. Like I say, he would be the biggest villain. You know, I can't say it. Surely not.
Dave, if he wants to earn some coin for the rest of his life, that's the career move to set himself up driving a Ferrari for the rest of his life. He'll be on every show going, that lad. But anyway, yeah, even I can't stretch to him doing Selly over like that, Dave. But anyway, of course, most folks feel Justin and Caleb will win. So if they do, we'll never know what Johnny would have done. Laughing face, that's true. And then she's just basically put a link to the interview, just saying there's a discussion near the end about Noah being removed and stuff like that. So it's quite an interesting link. I think I'll put that on Twitter as well, Dave. It's a separate podcast, so it's pretty good. So it'll be quite interesting to listen to that. And then it just says, thanks again for your Love Island podcast. They make me laugh every time. Looking forward to hearing your take on other shows in the future. Cheers, Sue. She even got the cheers in there, Dave. She's
nice.
Yeah. Oh, thank you so much to everybody. The whole of this season has been amazing. Good, bad, indifferent. We've loved every single bit of interaction. It's brilliant we keep getting these emails in, Dave.
Yeah. No, I love it. Absolutely love it. And what I'd say is I kind of, certainly before we record, I don't really want to like look at too much of what other people are kind of discussing. I'll have like a cursory glance, you know, at what's going on Twitter, but I kind of just want to make my own mind up, because you know, if you read something over and over, you don't know if, you know, it's like Inception, isn't it? Did I originally have that thought, or, you know, have I just read it somewhere? So, but no, definitely now where we are, sort of right at the end, that sounds like a really interesting interview. That, and actually, it sort of validates what we were saying, doesn't it? You know, if Trey's saying that as well, yeah. With all of these things, I kind of hope I'm wrong. I kind of hope that Johnny isn't just faking everything. But yeah, what is it I say, Chris? If it looks like a duck, if it quacks like a duck, it's a fucking duck. Now that is awesome, exactly, Chris. Now, David. Where can everyone get in contact with us?
Right, guys. So we've only got a couple of episodes left. Pretty much, I think it's the last episode, actually, Dave, isn't it? I think it's the last episode.
It's the final tomorrow, isn't it?
Sorry, yeah, it's the final. Sorry. So if you do have any
Baker's couple.
Baker's couple. If you do, fucking hell, right? If you do have anything you want to talk to us about, anything you want to get off your chest, I mean, if there's anything about Dave that irritates you, just send us in, guys, on the email, cdrealitycast@gmail.com.
Hopefully
if you
my ex-wife doesn't listen.
I'll read that out, Dave.
That'll be the record longest fucking email in the world.
I'll read that out, Dave. Don't you worry, right? If you want to follow us on social media, @cdrealitycast as well, guys, and get them in. You've not got long to go, guys, but trust us, we are 100% doing The Bachelorette, and we are going to go to town on that show in a few weeks, Dave. So absolutely brilliant, mate, and thank you again for today. It's been so much fun.
That's awesome. No, cheers. I won't be rolling out the big nose comment in the near future for at least a day. So not for the next episode. There we go.
Okay, thank you, Dave. Bye.
See you tomorrow.